Well, good afternoon, viewers. Today we have a 2010 Tiguan, and the money light is on. A message comes up when you start it that says service engine system. The EPC light is on. So we're going to scan it with VCDS and see what codes it has to offer. We'll go from there. Let's get started. So I've got the VCDS VCI connected to the DLC. I've got the car running. I hope there's no updates necessary, because that usually takes about an hour to update VCDS. I don't have a fast internet connection here. So we're going to do auto scan. Start. This does a network scan of all the controllers and extracts the long coding from all of the controllers. This takes a few minutes, so I'll pick up when we get to the end of this. So I'm almost at the end of this network scan, and I see quite a few codes and various modules. I think this was at the dealer and they told him he needed an intake manifold, which is not unlikely. Let's have a look. Intake manifold flap position. Yeah, the dual plane intake manifold runner control brakes. So it likely needs an intake manifold. Random cylinder misfire P0300. Cylinder misfire in cylinder 3. 4 probably has intake valves carboned up. Intake manifold flap position, misfire in cylinder 2. Fuel pressure sensor malfunction. That one bothers me. I don't know if this date time stamp is correct. Let's look at one of the other ones. Intake manifold runner control. Date 2019-05-28. Go by the mileage, 216,491. What's it got on it now? Well, I'm going to go through this and have a look, see if there's anything else interesting. So it's running a little bit rough right now, and there's a hissing noise coming from the right side of the engine. You see the intake manifold runner control diaphragm actuator here, and I'm going to push in on the shaft. Actually, it's broken off. The shaft is broken. I'm holding my finger over the vacuum leak now. So at the other end of this is a position sensor, so it needs a new intake manifold, and that's probably causing the random misfire because it's leaning out. You notice where I have my finger right now, my middle finger. There's quite a bit of vacuum on that. We'll also explore walnut shell blasting the intake ports when we have the intake manifold off. But we got to get some parts. So if you look down at the actuator there, right in the middle of the screen, you can see that blue hydraulic cap. I stuck it in there to plug the vacuum leak for now. So I just want to monitor the fuel rail pressure. It's in bar. It's roughly 40 bar. The actual and desired are matching right now, but I'm going to shut it off, but I'm going to turn the key back on to reestablish communication and watch the pressure. It should climb as it goes through a hot soak, so I'm going to reach over to the car and shut it off and turn the key back on again. Hopefully we don't lose communication. Okay, so the key is on. And we're watching the fuel rail pressure. Actual is 40.44. Why did it stop? Maybe because I cycled the key off. Damn. I'm gonna try this again. So I had to restart VCDS because it crashed. But we're up to 51 bar. It's now graphing in red. And it's climbing. So if the pressure were to drop off, that could indicate one or more of the injectors are leaking, or the high pressure regulator is leaking, or the high pressure fuel pump is leaking into the crankcase. Now, considering this thing has 217,000 kilometers on it, it's probably in need of other work, like intake valve cleaning. But it definitely needs the intake manifold replaced. So I'm going to discuss the repairs with the customer. Well, there's the intake manifold. This is the broken runner. It's not moving the valves inside. Changed 4 injectors, injector retainers. You got to get these separate. I use Bosch injectors and SMP seal kits. An intake manifold assembly. That's a fun job. Back up and running. I did one of these a few years ago, so I'll link to my previous video. I didn't feel like videotaping the whole thing. It's quite a job. You have to pull the intake manifold with the fuel rail assembly out. Some of the injectors stay in the head, some of the injectors stay in the fuel rail. It's not pretty. But there it is, back together and running. I did a fresh oil change. Did a service reset with VCDS. And I don't think we have any lights on the dash. No warning lights. So we're good to go. Take it for a road test. No fault codes. Done, go back. Close controller. Go back. Exit. Yes, I'm using VCDS on my Snap-on Veris Edge.